on the line in this election, from health care to the economy. But there's also other issues, including whether Congress should allow more states, such as Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. Our Joe St. George reports how this election could change the number of stars on the American flag.
Our nation's flag, 50 stars symbolizing the 50 states. If you were born after 1959, when Hawaii became a state, 50 is all you've ever known.
This is the first century where we haven't admitted a new state yet. That flag used to change and get more and more stars on it.
But if you ask Washington, D.C. Shadow Senator Paul Strauss, America's flag needs an update because the number of states needs an update. As a shadow senator, he gets to have an office near the Capitol, but not much more.
I'm not allowed to vote for them on the floor or even in committee.
Strauss believes this year's election could finally make D.C. a state because he believes Democrats have a chance to sweep and win the House, Senate, and White House. After all, Democrats in the House have already passed legislation to make D.C. a state. Joe Biden has endorsed it. Senate Democrats have even discussed eliminating the filibuster, which means D.C. would become a state with 51 senators voting yes instead of current rules, which require 60. Puerto Rico could even become a state too. D.C.'s senator says it's a shame hundreds of thousands of Americans live here, but have no real representation in Congress.
We are subjected to taxation without representation.
Democrats, of course, have a political motive in making Washington, D.C. the 51st state. The town is overwhelmingly Democrat. Only 4% of the city voted for President Donald Trump 4 years ago, which means there would almost certainly be 2 more Democratic senators in the United States Senate to pass progressive laws.
Schumer and Pelosi are very clear. That's where they're heading next. D.C. statehood.
In fact, out in Montana, which is about as far from D.C. as you can get, this is an issue on the campaign trail. Republican Senator Steve Daines, who is up for re-election, telling us it'll be that much harder for Republicans to ever be in control again with 2 more Democratic senators. He's hoping this will mobilize people to vote Republican.
This is not about the voice of the people of District of Columbia. This is a raw power play.
Daines says if D.C. wants representation, perhaps Virginia or Maryland should annex part of the booming city where people live. Strauss says that's absurd.
We want to join the Union. What could be more patriotic than American than that?
In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.